So today's topic is ionization energy. So first, what is meant by ionization energy? So let us take one atom. So this is a atom, and in this atom there is a nucleus, and electrons are revolving around this nucleus. So this is one electron. And to remove this electron from this atom, we require some energy. That energy is called as ionization energy. So the definition is nothing but the minimum energy required to remove an electron from a neutral isolated gaseous atom. That is called as ionization energy. So it is simply writing the definition. Energy, so it is a minimum energy required to remove an electron from neutral isolated gaseous atom. So this is a statement. Suppose this is some metal M, some metal or some atom M, which is a gas. And now we are removing one electron from this atom. Whenever there is loss of electrons, then it will form a unipositive cation. And this is called as ionization energy 1. And this is a unipositive cation. So cation means we have positive charge. Suppose if we remove one more electron from this positive cation, then we get a plus 2 charge on this M. So we get M plus 2 charge. And this is called as ionization energy 2. And this is nothing but it is a dipositive cation. So in this way, suppose if we remove one more electron from here, we get a tripositive cation. So one electron is removed, it is ionization energy 1. We get unipositive cation. Second electron is removed, then we get dipositive cation, which is called as ionization energy 2. So in this way, how many ionization energies are possible means it depends on the number of electrons. If carbon is there, carbon is having 6 electrons. So the maximum ionization energies means it is nothing but we can remove 6 electrons. So the ionization energy 6 up to 6 is possible. Now after this, remember the ionization energy 2 will be more than ionization energy 1. Always ionization 2 is more than ionization energy 1. Why this is happening means suppose if you take one example, let us take sodium. So in the sodium there are 11 electrons and 11 protons. In the nucleus there are 11 protons and here there are 11 electrons. So what is meant by ionization energy 1? One electron is removed. Now we are removing one electron from this. Now we get 10 electrons. Now these protons are remaining unchanged. So we are just removing only electrons. The protons are remaining same. Now from first case to the second case, the attractions between the protons and electrons is increased. Why means the nuclear attractions on the remaining electrons is more. So in the first case, electrons and protons are equal. But when one electron is removed, then electrons are decreased. So when electrons are decreased, the nuclear attractions is increased on the remaining electrons. So when the nuclear attractions are increased on the remaining electrons, we require more energy to remove the second electron. So first electron is removed, but these attractions, these 11 protons are attracting only 10 electrons. So these electrons are more attracted. So to remove the one more electron from this, we require more energy. So that is why always ionization 2 is more than ionization 1. Suppose if ionization 3 is given, then the ionization 3 is more than ionization energy 2. So that is. So we can write this reason in a simple manner. So ionization 2 is more than ionization 1. The reason is because when an electron is removed from a from an atom, the nuclear attractions increases on the remaining electrons. So that is why ionization energy 2 is more than ionization energy 1. So this is about ionization 1 and ionization 2. Now this ionization energy, it depends on some factors. So if you want to know which is having more ionization energy and less ionization energy, we must know about the factors. So there are 5 factors which affect the ionization energy. So factors. So in these factors, the first factor is atomic size. You just imagine one example. This is one atom with a smaller size, and this is one atom with a larger size. And here electron is present, and here the electron is present. Now in these two, in which case we can remove electrons more easily. So this is a small atom, and this is a large atom. Now the distance between nucleus and electrons is less. So always nucleus will try to attract electrons. If the distance is less, means the electrons are more attracted. If electrons are more attracted, then we require more energy to remove that electron. Now see this example. The distance between nucleus and electron is more. So the attractions will be less. If attractions are less, then the electron can be easily removed. So based on this, what? The size is large, ionization energy is less. So what we can write, this atomic size is simply inversely proportional to ionization energy. If size is more, then ionization energy is less. If size is less, then ionization energy is more. So this is the first factor, and this is very very important factor. And the remaining factor, they are not much important, but we have to know the factors. The second factor is nuclear charge. So if nuclear charge is more, then the attractions will be more. If the attractions are more, then the ionization energy will be more. So simply nuclear charge is directly proportional to ionization energy. This is the second factor. Next, the third factor is screening effect, or this is also called as shielding effect. And this screening effect is also inversely proportional to ionization energy. And screening effect, we have a order, that is S will have more screening effect, and P will have second position, and D and F will have less screening effect. So just remember this point, that is screening effect is inversely proportional to ionization energy. Next, fourth one is penetration power. And penetration power is in the order of S, P, D and F. This is the order of penetration power. So if penetration power is more, then the ionization energy will be more. So the s electrons will have more ionization energy than the P and D and then the F. So this is based on penetration power. And this 2, 3, 4 does not play much role for explaining ionization energy of any elements. But the fifth point is very, very important. So you have to remember the first and fifth point for objectives. So the fifth point is half filled and fully filled configurations, means electronic configurations, have more ionization energy. Why they have more ionization energy means generally half filled and completely filled will have more stability. So if they are more stable, then their ionization energies also will be more. Why means if they are stable, they are not ready to give electrons. So if they are not ready to give electrons means if you remove that, if you want to remove still that electrons, we require more energy. So that is the fifth point. Now let us see how this ionization energy vary in a group and period. So in a group from top to bottom, the ionization energy will decrease, decreases in a group. And in a period from top to bottom, ionization energy increases. So in a group it decreases, and in a period it increases. But we have to remember this fifth point. So first, before that, let us see one example. So I am taking expected order. I am taking one second period. So this is expected. So in the exam, we don't require expected. You may expect so many points, but we have to take consideration of observed only. So expected order of this ionization energy. So let us take some second period. So second period elements are lithium, and next we have beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and neon. So these are second period elements. So in a period, what is happening? The ionization energy increases. That is, period means left to right. So the ionization energy should have order in this way. So it is increasing. So this is the order. But what is the observed ionization energy? Is lithium ionization energy is more than beryllium. It is okay. But beryllium ionization energy is more than boron. So here it is changed. Now carbon is more okay, and nitrogen is also more okay. But nitrogen is more than oxygen, and again it is changed. Now fluorine will have more ionization energy, and then neon will have more ionization energy. So the what is the reason here means if you take the configuration of beryllium, beryllium means 4 electrons. So its configuration is 1s2 2s2. So if you take s orbital, so in the s orbital, these are the two electrons. So the two electrons are completely filled. So in the 2s, all the two electrons are completely filled. So completely filled means fully filled. So it is more stable. So that is why the beryllium ionization energy is more than boron. So you remember this trend between beryllium and boron. Now the change we are having is between nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen is more than oxygen. And if you take the configuration of nitrogen, nitrogen will have 7 electrons. So its configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. So 2p3 means p will have 3 degenerate orbitals, px, py and pz. So these are the 3 degenerate orbitals and 3 electrons are there. So 1, 2 and 3. So 3 electrons means this is what half filled. So it is half filled means, so half filled also will have more stability. So they also have more ionization energy. So that is why nitrogen is having more ionization energy than the oxygen. And this trend will be repeated across all the periods. Suppose if you take the next period elements like below lithium we have sodium. So the after sodium we have magnesium, and magnesium will be more than aluminium, and aluminium after aluminium we have silicon, and silicon then phosphorus, and here also again phosphorus is more than sulfur, and then chlorine, and then argon. So this is the fifth point. Trend is very important for objectives. So this is all about ionization energy. Thank you.